My name is Chubi.
And I'm Vanessa, and welcome to No
No
Filters,
Filters,
No
No
Fears
Fears
podcast.
podcast.
So
Yeah.
there's no specific episode today. We're recapping season 5,
Yeah, season 5.
which was a whirlwind.
Let's see how many of you remember season 5. Let's see if we
I
remember
don't remember
season 5.
season 5.
Well, I remember season 5
I
because,
remember, like, once you say, like, this one was this one, I know what the episode, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
right, right.
My brain. All right, hit me.
Well, episode 51 was accessibility, and we had a special guest. And
Anna.
I think she was the only guest on our season.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah,
too.
she was. It's
But
okay. Accessibility. I mean, the title is self-explanatory. You know how we in our world.
learned a lot in that episode.
Me too. Accessibility is not accessible for everybody. Like,
Yeah. I think I learned a lot because it is something that matters a lot to me and that I talk about quite a bit because I'm on the board of the South Florida Theater League,
yeah,
and I'm very grateful that a lot of companies have it in the forefront of their mind to make the space accessible to those with disabilities. But even beyond that, it's not just making venues
right.
accessible, it's making um, the world, period, accessible because it becomes very difficult. And it's not just for those who are in wheelchairs, it's for those that are visually impaired, right? Or have are are deaf. Like, it's a crazy world right now and there's a lot going on. So to make it um easy for those who can't see or can't hear would be great.
Right,
And
and
I
then
did know that there were so many things that were lacking. Hi,
right.
Jackie.
Hi, Jack. That also is a great point because you didn't even realize how many places were not accessible. You didn't even realize that many places people weren't able to actually go into. And
And more upsetting yet, that it is a law that it should be, and that people wipe their ass with it.
right, I know.
Corporations that very well have the money to take care of it choose not to. It's also very telling because you're saying it's not important to you, and if you have employees with disabilities,
Right.
you are with that, letting them know, you know, what they. Hi.
Hello, we got our triple. We got oh my God! Everybody's
Woo!
just
And
joining us.
Elizabeth graced us with her beauty in a video during the body positivity episode. But what?
Yes. Oh my God! This is making me smile. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
And
Okay.
I mean, we can't just shout out Brian and not say that hello.
Oh
He
yeah,
created my Koriko song.
right. Sharon was part of multiple episodes as
Yeah,
well. So
Sharon has fought to get some stickers, some mugs, some something. Oh no, Sharon. We gotta bring you back for one of those trivia challenges.
I know, right? Let's continue because episode 52 was identifiers. So it was labels and identifiers, which we all know.
Hmm.
Everybody has them. Everybody uses them. Overuses them. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know. And we learn. Well, I mean, I don't know. What did you learn about that episode? Because to me, it's like,
Well, remember, we constantly, identifiers ended up being a topic because we are constantly talking about identifiers, Shubi and I,
yeah,
because we both see the value of it, of having identifiers, of them existing in the world, um, right? To help people find a place, to help describe something in a way that maybe might be more like relatable or understandable. But at the same
right.
time, I have issues with over identifying. Or
That's
like,
where I was going with. Yeah,
yeah, it's like identifying is lovely, but if you have to put so much into it, like, then now I feel like it creates separation. In an effort to identify yourself and find your place, then it's like, oh no, but you're not really this, you're that because you differ in this particular way. We all are going to differ one way or another. But if something resonates with you, why are you going to shun that person, right?
Exactly.
For that. And then it's like 1,050. It gives you an identity crisis.
Right.
Identifier crisis.
And the perfect example is like the LGBTQ plus community.
Let the plus say it all.
I mean,
And it's really funny because they call it the alphabet mafia now.
I was just about to say that. I get the joke and I get it, but it is true. It's like I understand the plus, but are you gonna keep adding more? Because to me, the LGBTQ plus just it encompasses everyone and everything. But now there's like LGBTQ plus 2SRPQ whatever, hence the name.
And again, we're not invalidating the
Oh no.
existence of those identifiers. It's important, right? You know, pan, to know that it meant something like, no, it doesn't matter gender. That to discover that was a gift, right?
Right.
And made us both feel identified for real.
Right.
I guess, but then it just becomes, you just become a name, and it stops becoming about normalizing the idea that that is a fact, that there are people that like both sexes, that like any sex, that doesn't have to do with gender, people that for example, sapiosexual is a thing, right? That you need your mind to be stimulated. These are great identifiers, great words to know. But when people start hinging like personalities,
right,
or like the core of who someone is just to an identifier, I feel that that's
where that's where I think it gets lost. Yeah, I agree. Episode 53 was homelessness. That was a very tough topic because we know about it, and we knew just the housing aspect of it all, like the numbers, the statistics about how many people in which country, which city it has the most homelessness, and every single time you read a statistic about something, you're like, holy crap, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad.
When you think about the richness, entre comillas, of countries that are experiencing such high numbers of homelessness, and if we keep it specifically just to the United States, right? That people that homelessness doesn't just look like someone on the street in downtown, which is what somebody with. It looks like the guy that sits next to you in the office at work.
Right, stereotypes, yeah.
Make enough money to pay the bills and whatnot, but cannot afford a home.
Right.
It's a reality for a lot of Americans. That was my reality, for a while. And so it's like, when you put those things into perspective, and how that should be the least of our problems, that should be the least, that there's enough of those communal wealths to make sure that people have at minimum shelter,
right,
at minimum food. Why are we not asking more questions as to where funds are being allocated?
Exactly.
In our cities, in our states.
But you already know.
About so many other things. As a matter of fact, people complain about the homeless problem. They complain not as a means of a humanitarian complaint, like, how is this possible?
Right.
But as a bother, an inconvenience.
Right.
It's making my city ugly. Bueno, cállate, then fix it.
Right. Just like when I mentioned the IDs that the city that I live in was about to pass out, like was in North Carolina, that they already started that 8 years ago, and now they implemented it anywhere. Yeah, that's a great idea, because that ID is gonna get them, like schools, especially the immigrants, their children to get registered, etc., things like that. And that was a great idea. Instead of bitching about it or complaining, that it's about it, be proactive about it and see what you can actually do to help in a minimal way, like we talked about before. Those town hall meetings that people have. Go to your local, whatever it's called, and see what you could do.
That we did that episode because for me it was a very personal episode. But
Right.
also just because it really is a big problem that I think gets thrown to last, and it's a great politician selling point, but they never really quite do
Do
something about
anything
it.
about it, no. And it also brought up a different perspective to some other people who only thought the stereotype that you have to be on the street looking like a bum in order to be homeless, when in reality it could be anybody.
Remember when I was in the midst of my own homelessness and situation, and too shamed to be vocal about it, because how do you say something like that without
Right.
potentially like skewing the way somebody looks at you or their perception of you? Um, the comments that we say on a day to day as jokes, right? That we
Yeah.
don't realize could be that person's actual situation. And even if like you're saying it, haha, oh, but yeah, that may be your situation, but I don't mean it about you. It's still a trigger. It's still painful, and it still
Yeah.
is very much their situation. So, like, oh, fulanito looks homeless, or like those kinds of comments
Yeah.
sting. And that fulanito that looks homeless, you don't know what their situation might be. They could be having a really difficult time, and maybe it's not because of homelessness. They could be having a difficult time at home. They could be having a difficult time with substances, whatever the case may be.
Mental health issues
A little
too.
kindness goes a long way. And that judgy commentary might be funny, haha, but we can be funny, haha, without being nasty.
Right. Exactly. That was a good episode. I liked it. Episode 54 was about milestones.
Milestones in like history, like laws that were passed. What is the face?
Because I barely remember it.
Okay. I was like, are you trying to remember it? Or you were like, and that episode was whatever.
No, I don't remember it. Or like, oh yeah, I remember that we chose 10 milestones that we thought were important, and mine were mostly political, and yours were like, was it personal or something?
There were some like there were more like personal like life milestones.
Yeah, I remember like when gay marriage became legal. Yeah, I remember now. Okay, got it.
I think we like overlapped on like two or three about
Yeah,
personal politics, and then for me it was like milestone of birthdays, of
right.
menopause, something that typically gets looked at as like taboo, very bad in a woman's life, can also be a very beautiful thing because it's a new chapter, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that.
so I like the milestones episode just because it gave us an opportunity to like uplift things that may not have otherwise been recognized. Like we didn't get here by osmosis.
Episode 55 was about privilege, about it was very personal for the both of us because we're white passing, but when can we use our privilege, and when I don't know, I like this episode because
Yeah, it was one of those episodes that we talked about. Like, there's certain episodes that have happened, and that I'm sure will happen again, where it's like we could probably have 5 episodes about the same thing,
right and
and like
different.
we talked about like potentially bringing it back with like a panel, right?
Right. Yes.
Of not just of us that are white passing, but actual people of color, like that can reflect whatever thoughts we're having and have those uncomfortable conversations. Because if y'all think that white passing people don't have conflict with being presented with certain privileges that they know are privileged, you're wrong. Especially
Mm,
when we're trying to be more aware that these are privileges.
right.
It's a mind fuck.
Yeah, this has always been an issue for me, as you already know, like we talked about in the episode, both of us being biracial, but we're white passing. No, no, you can't tell, and that's always been an issue with me growing up. So it's like, we're not trying to claim anything that we're not. It's just who we are, living the experiences that we have lived, and this is who we are. What can we do?
And it's not just in skin color, it's also in ethnicity, right? Like
Oh
in
yeah.
background. So like I made the comment of getting the, hearing the statement, oh, I thought you were white until you open your mouth. Oh, thank you. Métetela por
Right.
right? I'm a very proud Hispanic woman, and like, and to hear that, it's like it is offensive, and then it makes you wonder, did I get what I've gotten or where I've gotten by merit, or because they assumed
Right.
that I was not this, or am I being used to fill the box, check the box, fill the space of, you know what I mean?
Right. And what another thing that I find offensive is like that whole statement, oh, I thought you were white until you open your mouth. Why? Because a Hispanic or a person in period can't talk eloquently or talk like, you know,
Yes.
like I don't know. That just I always
Or
find
like,
that
oh,
very
you can really turn on the proper speech. I'm like, why? Because I have a Miami girl accent, or because se me sale lo cubana, like that.
right.
But that's who I am. I don't tell them that, their ignorant is showing when they say that.
Every time I heard that, I was like, "Are you serious? So you have to be a certain way or look a certain way or speak a different like way in order to what?" But we are bringing it back with the panel. You are right. We
Yes,
are,
yes.
and we are going to do that because this is a very interesting episode. Episode 56 was about adoption. So that episode was those numbers that you read. I mean, and we already know about the orphanage, and we already know about the actual adoption centers and what other places are there, but it was sad, I mean, to me, you know I may not like children, but I do not want them to suffer. I don't want, any of
No,
that to, that was just the sad part for me. What
I
about?
love children because the joy of my life is, and like, even though I get really annoyed with my sisters and I don't talk to them much lately because like siblings, we fight, but I have adopted siblings, and
Right.
it made a difference in my life, and it made a difference in experiencing different worlds, uh, you know, um, and to learn about different experiences culturally, even because
Oh yeah,
even though
that
I'm
too.
Dominican, my sister was born and raised Dominican. I was raised, you know, and my other sister is from Haiti. So having that different,
Right.
those different cultures, a different experience and understanding was massively important.
Yeah, as we talked in the episode, I only have adopted cousins, so that's how I knew about the adoption and how the whole process and, the laws that has changed over time because of the horrendous things that people have done and, scamming the system and X, Y, and Z. So it was interesting to learn, how same-sex people have also had issues that they couldn't
Oh,
adopt,
horrible,
things
horrible.
like that. I'm happy we finally did the episode after how many times postponing it or moving it. Oh my god.
Since like, I think since like season two, three, we had mentioned that topic, and we're like, we'll do it next season, next season, next season.
Right. Well, it was more for me. Like I kept saying, "Oh, I don't feel like talking about freaking children
Yeah.
today. I don't want to do it."
We
But
spend sometimes like we really got to go about an episode, right? And especially like, and sometimes if it didn't occur to us both at the same time, it's really meaningful to one or the other. We're like, okay, let's go for it,
mm,
And then there's sometimes we're like,
we know it's important. We want to talk about it, but
we're
maybe
not
not today.
necessarily. I don't know what it is. It's not that we're like, I whatever to the top. It's like I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't
Right.
know. Like, am I gonna say the wrong thing when I mean something? And
I wasn't
maybe
ready.
it'll
Yeah,
happen, even
I
when we
wasn't
get to
ready
it.
for the adoption episode because the way that I feel about that, I don't know if you guys watched it, but it's just, I don't know. It's a whole different ball game for me. A whole after episode 56, we were getting ready to talk about expectations. But ironically, we weren't expecting the whole Cuba thing to happen and for that to just break out. And as you already know, that we talked about it on episode 57 or 58. You know,
57.
no, what the thing that I mentioned about how people were bashing us, or you
Oh,
could say about
oh yeah.
why weren't we talking about Cuba? Anyway, episode 57 happened, and we talked about Cuba, and that's where I gave Vanessa her voice because she's Cuban. I don't know anything about it, and I feel like having this platform, it was important. So
Yeah, I was really grateful, and I hope that the sound doesn't mess up.
no,
You
you're
let
good.
me
You're
know.
good.
But I was really grateful that we got to do that episode, and that Chubi, that you proposed that it happened, because yes, oh, Vanessa, you won't make me cry. Um, because like it was so emotional for me as a person who's Cuban, but not because I was born there or anything like that, because it is something that is put in you from the moment you have sense, right? And the stories surround you, the history, the true history that has never been told, surrounds you since you're a kid. You
Right.
understand the struggle, you understand the pain. And to see finally the Cuban people stand up was beautiful. And it was heartbreaking to see those that could potentially really help uplift those voices stay silent, or
I think
dismiss it, or say that it wasn't real, or say that it's not real. Because there are Americans that, or other countries, other cultures, like in Puerto Rico, there was a protest in favor of communism, in favor of the communist regime in Cuba. There have been protests. There's Americans walking the streets saying, let Cuba live, which is very different than set Cuba free.
right.
Let Cuba live means wash your hands of people starving and dying and not being able to have a choice in anything that they do. We're talking about an entire island of people that are subject to a regime's orders about
Right.
everything, about every aspect of their life. And right now, every bit of humanitarian aid that is being sent is being sold back to the people in dollars. Dollars that they do not have. So the humanitarian aid is aiding the Cuban regime. Meanwhile, we hear ignorant commentary about it being the fault of the embargo, or China saying that they will stand by Cuba, which should be no shocker. That other communist countries are like, what's up, brother? It should be of no surprise.
Right.
But it surprised, and maybe it shouldn't have, but it does surprise me, because I am proud to be an American in the sense that this country gave my family an opportunity to be more than what it could have ever been. Because if you look at that island, that would have been the fate of my family. I would not exist.
Right.
So to think that people can dismiss images like what are coming out of the island, this is the first time, because of social media, and because people have the ability to get minutes and internet on their phones, that anybody can see what is happening on the island for real. And the regime is real quick to try and cover it up with their own, like, very passive, very structured protests and their own little pictures. Meanwhile, those pictures that you see of babies being killed while in their mother's arms, shooting down the mother and the child while peacefully protesting, that is very real, and that is happening. And to ignore it is beyond me. Like, I don't understand.
My initial reaction when I heard that, I was like, fucking finally. Cause I'm very proud that fucking Cuba finally fucking did it. Like it was about time.
Desire military intervention, humanitarian aid for those. We cannot really do anything like that because it would potentially be putting the Cuban people more at risk.
Right.
The only thing we can do is uplift their voices, make sure that people know the true history because the history is out there. Ask Cubans, but believe Cubans when they tell you.
Exactly.
How can we sit and have the uncomfortable conversations? Listen to Black voices, listen to Asian voices, listen, right, to all of those who have been oppressed or been mistreated or been subject to racism and xenophobia, but not listen to
An entire island.
benefit financially because you still want to be able to go on vacation in La Playa and not worry about that 2 blocks over people are dying.
I had a mini rant earlier about that same shit. You go to a fucking island just to do tourist shit. You take our food, you do this, you do that. And I'm talking about Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Santo Domingo, Hispaniola, Cuba, Bahamas, all the fucking you go to our fucking islands, you do our fucking tourist shit, but then you go back home and you're like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. Wait, they're killing people there? No, I went there. It's pretty. That does not negate the fact that people are still dying.
Really, for example, after a natural disaster, oh, but I was just there and everything was great. They have to rebuild the tourist spots first so that they can make back the money in order to rebuild everything else.
Right. But right, but that's the thing that pisses me off about these fucking people that when they travel they only go to the tourists. I'm sorry, but that pissed me off. My rant is on Instagram if anybody cares. But it's just it's personally annoying to me because yes, Puerto Rico may be the most beautiful whatever to whoever goes there. Okay, and what? The people are still suffering. Just like Cuba, you go there, people are still suffering. Like you said, two, 3 blocks over, somebody's dying. Pero a ti lo único que te importa es echarte el lujo de que tú fuiste, and then what? What was your purpose? And granted, that's everywhere. That's everybody and anywhere you go in the world. But still, I don't know. That was just my rant about that, and I was like,
at the time that it was most relevant, used our platform to talk about something and clarify a lot of misinformation, especially and before as a point to move on because we've been on this for how many? It's like a whole second episode of it. Is believe the Cuban people. Share. Nobody's asking for money. Nobody's asking for that humanitarian aid food on. No. Listen to the stories. Share the stories. Share the truth.
and that's it.
Right? That's it. It's like, and I will use the biggest example that we know because we all know it's the biggest piece of shit. It's like saying the Holocaust never happened. How fucking dare you?
Right, when there's actually people that lived it.
Cubans in the face and say that's not really happening when they're getting calls that their family member is missing or got killed in the street for standing up to be free. And it's not about an embargo. It's not about anything else but the Cuban regime having other governments fooled, right?
Yep.
We have to give our government just a little bit of kudos for not being entirely fooled, but they're being medio come mierda right now. So
yeah.
But it's not about politics or anything like that. They gotta go. Cuba, it's the people's island. That's it.
That was episode 57, talking about Cuba. If you wanna watch us cry or more information, you could go there. No, but seriously, and then we moved episode 58. I mean, episode 58 was 57, but we moved it. So 58 was expectations. Expecting, thinking after, when we were done, because you don't realize when you're expecting certain things because to you it's just automatic. It's just it's just is.
It's what
When you don't,
you're willing to do, your standard.
right, but then you forget that not everybody is like you. Not everybody's gonna do those expectations that are just.
And what's harder about that yet is accepting that that doesn't make them bad.
Right, right.
That doesn't
So
make them bad. It doesn't make them ungrateful. It just makes them perhaps not the person most aligned to be in your life, right? Or to be, or that, or to be in the particular dynamic that maybe you had wanted,
right,
right?
exactly.
Like you can be friends, but you're not going to be biffles because this particular thing is a big deal for you, and they it's not something that feels good to them.
I mean, granted, communication is important to me, and I wish that people also did the same. So those expectations, I'm expecting you to communicate certain things about whatever the hell is we're talking. But no, that does
Yeah,
not happen. And that's
that is
another
not.
expectation, right? So
And
that was that.
people make it sound like expectations is also like a bad word, like a negative word, and they get triggered by like somebody has an expectation. Expectations is not always a bad word.
Right.
Like, because it could also not be mean expectation. It's just the language, the word that they might know. And what they mean
Right.
is their desire, their need, their want, right? Of a particular situation or of you in that dynamic, in that relationship. So, and then it's your choice, right? They're presenting you with a choice of, can you meet me here? Can you not?
Right.
Is there a balance? Right? Hablando se entiende la gente. Talking, people understand each other, one another. And like, it's not difficult. It's, and whatever individual issues one might have with what expectations another person in their life can meet, it's on you to figure out how much of that you can deal with. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Again, communication. You expect something, just communicate. Use your words. Just talk.
Yeah.
Because, like we always say in my household, tú puedes hablar para gritar y hablar tema a la gente, pero no puedes usar tus palabras para preguntar lo que tú quieres. That's it. Just
Translation. You can use your words to scream and to do whatever and ask for what you want. Wait, then you can use it to ask for what you want. That's what I meant.
yeah, and people don't realize that. I'm like, you were just bitching about, ranting about whatever the hell you were, but you couldn't communicate. Hey, I am upset because you did this and that. Can we please talk later about it? No.
And sharing your feelings without imposing the feeling, right?
Right, exactly. Yes.
Because
Right.
expectations inevitably come from wanting to feel us, right? To wanting to feel safe or wanting to feel loved or wanting to feel respected, whatever the case may be, cared
Exactly.
for. So if that expectation isn't met, you feel less of that you're searching for. And in that being true, you're absolutely in all your right to share that feeling. But understand that there's different ways to achieve that goal, right? That doesn't necessarily have to like meet that particular expectation that you're setting on that person. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah. So the season ended, I feel, with a heavy topic.
coño sí.
Episode 59 was about bullying,
Yeah.
and that one was our pre-recorded episode. And that was next to Cuba. This was the second heaviest because I think Cuba was, or hand in hand, whatever.
It's the other one where we cried a whole lot.
Exactly.
I think we
The
measure it by tears. Amount of tears shed in an episode.
Yeah, this was the level 5, and I think we exceeded the level 5. Yeah. Oh, Vanessa says I was crying at work while she was watching the
The
bullying
bullying
episode.
episode. I mean, I remember, Vanessa, you were quite vocal, like in the chat, the last episode that we did live too. So I can only imagine like watching it after and not being able to be like, yeah, like add, because I know I missed that. I was sad that it was my fault that we couldn't go live, but I was sad that we couldn't do it live for that same reason, because it's such a relatable topic, because we've all been bullied in one way or another,
Yeah.
or been the bully, or both,
Right.
right? And it would have been really interesting to hear all of your take on it.
Yeah,
Like,
I wanted that as well, but hey, we still did, and I feel like the episode was really amazing. We had a lot of information, yes, a lot of tears, but the information, the statistics, and we shared a lot of resources as well. I don't know, I just feel
we
like that
felt
episode was
really
really.
that vulnerable
Oh yeah, oh my God, yeah.
about a topic, because like we've shared topics and talked on subjects that are meaningful to us because they're meaningful to us. We've also talked about it from experience, but I don't think we've ever gotten as in depth as we did with the bullying episode.
No, yeah, that was really like right there in the heart. You can't see it, but I'm pointing
If
at
you
it.
didn't know, if you know us now.
Oh yeah. I was again, like I always tell Vanessa since episode one, if you would have met me then, I was a nasty person. But I've changed. It's okay, we all grow. This is actual growth. But no, I mean, I'm just happy we talked about it, you know.
Yeah, because it is difficult and it is completely unnecessary. But then we talked about also like the inevitable need for balance, and like how like we would want to ideally love to break all those patterns that through time continue to create people with the mentality or the need to bully,
Right.
but that also adds to what creates the survivors, those that rise above, the defenders. We can't have one without the other. It's really it's difficult.
You know how we talked about, we literally talked about it personally, we talked about it in school, we talked about it like other adults, but we didn't talk about it in a family dynamic. I don't think we touched upon it.
No,
We
we
didn't at
didn't.
all.
And it can get nasty in families.
Yeah, because the family members are teasing you, but they think it's a joke, but that really affects you.
Yeah,
That
and it's
really
not
does.
even about like teasing, because los primos, I know what you're talking, because yeah, my cousins, I had two cousins that made my life fucking miserable. And they didn't apologize till we were adults, and they realized that they were schmucks and that it was worth apologizing for, because it wasn't just kid crap. It was evil.
Exactly. Yeah, it becomes worse
But
as.
it also happens with parents.
Right. Yeah, parents, siblings, cousins, uncles, abuelos, anybody in the
And
family.
and the bullying isn't always just teasing. The bullying is also like that emotional pushing of boundaries and demands. And that if you really love me, or because we're family, using that whole
Oh
because we're
yeah.
family, you have to tal.
And that's when you start with your body images because they do make fun of you, how you look, what you're wearing, what you're dressing, el pelo, la
And you
cara,
take it
whatever.
really hard because that's your flesh and blood.
Exactly, so it's even worse. Yeah, no, after the episode, guys, I was like, holy shit,
Wait a minute.
we didn't talk about the family
Unpause,
dynamic,
pause.
but hey, we could bring it back. There is a movie called Bully. I think it was Bully or Bullying. Bully. I don't remember the actual. I don't know if it's bully or bullying. I shared it on our story. I sat there boom, to watch it. The first 2 minutes of it, I was like, oh no, like trigger all over because it was a
Oh
little
my God.
blonde kid with glasses, like my little brother was. I'm like, close, I can't watch this. Fuck this. It made me cry in like the first 2 minutes of it. No,
Yeah.
but it's a good movie. I heard.
I heard.
I can't watch it. I mean I'm gonna try to just because it's an uncomfortable thing I have to sit through and do it. But nah,
Yeah.
I'm not emotionally equipped for that
I
yet.
hear you. I hear you. There's some things that I can't watch because I'm like,
So to you, to everyone out there watching us right now, which one was your favorite episode? Which one did you was like, oh my God, this one's it, or let me go rewatch it, or
Yeah.
Which one made you
Or
cry?
that you were like, it made you feel validated or seen, or whatever the case may be.
Or yeah, the
Let
one
us
that made
know.
you stop 500 times because you couldn't continue it and you had to be like, woosah to that. Yes, just let us know which one was your
That's
episode.
when I kept going back to the episodes and hearing her technical difficulties.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that makes me go.
you're right. No, which one was yours, Vanessa? Which one was the one? I mean, obviously, besides the obvious, besides Cuba.
Besides Cuba, besides Cuba, um, man, I'm really torn between two of them actually.
That's fine.
Bullying, bullying was for sure like I was really proud of that episode. And homelessness, because I was happy to talk about it and shed light on it and how it can look different, because I had been ashamed to talk about it for so long about myself. So to not just talk about it as like a third person opining about something that I don't know, to place myself in the narrative and say I know because I fucking know.
Right.
Um, and I feel bad, right? Because I'm also saying it from a place where I'm better, right? I'm in a better place, and I now have a roof over my head. But sometimes it takes that being in a good space to be able to share how shitty
Right.
the space can get.
And like we've mentioned before, most people do not get out of that. Most people are still in it, but some are the few lucky ones that get to actually,
Yeah.
change their life around.
And then you have to say something because you know how hard it was. And I feel like sometimes people forget what the struggle was and can so easily look down on others. Like, oh, they just don't try hard enough.
Yeah.
It's not about, sometimes it's not necessarily about trying or like make yourself the opportunity. It is difficult. And sometimes, and there's so many variables that affect one being able to move past something,
Yeah.
right? Be it race, be it education, be it money. There are factors. And to say that they're not is unjust. Because I don't
Yeah.
want to, like, I want to say something else, but it is unjust.
Yeah.
And like, I invite anyone who really feels that way and looks down on that kind of situation to reflect as to why you really feel that way and what time you were really lacking and didn't think you could make it through and felt judged or like you could do better, and when you knew you were doing the most you could.
Oof, I have plenty of times. Oof, I have plenty of those moments. Vanessa says that bullying was one of her favorite episodes.
I'm
Okay.
telling you, that episode was fuego.
Mine besides bullying in Cuba, I also have to say homelessness. Then again, the privilege one, because growing up
Oh
biracial,
my
and
gosh. Yeah.
they were all so good. This is the thing. I mean, but
I really enjoyed it because I really, like, we both got to say out loud things that were like, it's one of those factors of like, can I say this? But you have to because it's an actual fucking thought. And it's not out of wanting to be mean or cruel or like an asshole. It's a thought. It's a
and
worry.
and again, both of us growing up in biracial with our parents and our family and then our neighborhood, both coming from islands too, growing up there, it was, I don't know. Vanessa says the whole season for the win. Well,
Yay!
thank
Well,
you. We
wait for
tried.
the upcoming seasons.
I am excited. So that's a great transition to what we're gonna talk about. So our goodies. Oh,
I
mm,
get it. I
no.
get it. I get it. Yeah,
So
I
to
get it.
whoever's still watching, we have an announcement, a couple of announcements.
Woo woo.
One of them is our website. Yes, our website is done. It will be live
Hey!
tonight, tomorrow, whenever. I don't know. When should we do it?
Tomorrow. Well, if you can.
Well,
I will have you all know, because they will not take the credit themselves. I am not the tech person in this partnership. I could not build a freaking website if my life depended on it. And my time management is like, I'm surprised you guys catch me here at 8 p.m. because Chubi's surprised sometimes that we make it at 8 p.m. because, but Chubi worked insanely hard on that website, and it's lovely. I love it. You're gonna love it.
Yes, and the main factor of the website that for me personally, if I'm able to go to someone's website and I'm able to navigate it without no issue, without no pop-up ads, without no other things, being
Yeah.
in the way, then that makes it a great website for me. So the website's simple, straight to the point, and I hope you guys are able to check it out because we have these things. We have
Merch,
these things.
baby.
We
We
have
got
these.
t-shirts,
Look
we
at
got
it.
stickers.
We got stickers and we got our mugs. Like how I've been flaunting mine for the
Oh, where's my mug? This is why.
But there's only one of each color available: green, gray,
For
and
now, you want
the
to see
red
what goes
for
down?
now.
What?
So they're all unique. So this one particular, you see this one? I love it. I love how it looks.
It's so cute. I love it because it's our. So in case you guys haven't noticed a trend, a theme, our colors are black, white, red, and gray, because
Duh.
nothing is ever just black and white.
Exactly. So yes, our website will be live tomorrow, and I hope that you guys go check it out. And we're very excited about that. And yay, that's it. That's all we have
Yeah.
to say about that.
And brava, Chubi. And also there's also new new highlight buttons on our Instagram. Our Instagram got a facelift.
Oh yes, new highlights. I hope you guys noticed it. Brian said he's using his mug.
That's serious fandom right there. That's like, watch the show while using the merch. I love it.
I know. Thank you for
And
letting us know. That's awesome.
yeah, and we also have new tabs in the link tree on our Instagram. Chubi scours the universe, the ethernet, the interwebs, to find the most information possible about past topics, and they're all on there. Resources for suicide awareness, for homelessness, for gambling. I believe there's Black Lives Matter petitions, outreach, etc. There's even now, and thank you, Chubi, added for Cuban resources for everything going down in Cuba right now. It's all on there.
Yeah, attachment style. So if you want to figure out what your
Oh
attachment
yeah, that's
style
on there
is,
too.
it's there. We have the National Helpline for suicide prevention, rehab centers. Oh yeah, we decided to keep it just because why not? Like, we don't have to get rid of the link. We don't have to get rid of it. Our main information is at the top, and that's what matters. But everything else just in case. So we have a new segment that's gonna happen on Tuesdays, and it's called Talk Back Tuesday.
What?
What does
What's
that
Talk Back
mean?
Tuesday, Chuby?
So what does that mean? On our link, if you go to our link tree, is the first tab. You can ask us anything, literally anything. And there's several questions. If you want to be a podcast guest, you could let us know, and you could rate us as well. It's five, not 5 stars, 5 hearts.
Ay,
We did it with hearts.
corazoncito.
Yes, we did it with hearts instead of the regular boring 5 stars. But you could also
Or
leave us a
thumbs. People
comment.
leave thumbs.
I don't know. You could always leave us a comment, a question, anything. And then on Tuesdays, anonymously, we'll be posting it on our story, and just so people could see what's being chatted about, what's being talked about, who's asking what and where. And so it's called Talk Back Tuesdays. So tomorrow will be our first Talk Back Tuesday with
Woo
we
woo.
actually we actually have a question because our Talk Back Tuesday link has been on it for what, a week now?
Yeah.
We just left it and made an announcement so people could.
I think it's gonna be like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, we left it announcement so people could know what's going, what's that. And we have several questions already. So with that being said, tomorrow will be our first Talkback Tuesday segment question. And again, it will be anonymously. Is there anything else we need to share with our fearless fam about anything?
None of that. You guys already know our DMs are always open to you. Feel free to leave us messages, comments, questions, concerns, ideas. There's a lot of exciting things coming now. Besides the website and the stuff, the new season, like we already are looking into the new season. We have an idea of what it's going to look like. And we also have No Filters, No Fears events that are going to be happening in the future.
Can't wait to share. Oh my God. I was about to share and I'm like, wait, we can't because it's too soon. No.
We'll learn about that exactly what that event is in September. We'll be announcing it because we're going to need you.
We're going to need everybody that's watching. We're going to need you heavy for real. But yes, very excited.
To be announced.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all the good stuff.
All the goodies.
Hashtag goodies. That is not a hint or anything. It's okay. But yes, check tomorrow for the website. I'm very excited about this. Can't wait for you guys to actually be able to look at it and tell us what you think, and use our Ask Us Anything link that is on our link tree and link in our bio on Instagram. That's all the good stuff. But yes, remember this because I can't wait to wear mine. I can't wait. But I think that's all we have to share with you guys for today.
Do you have any final thoughts about the season?
Thank you for my final thoughts about the season. Well, I'm telling you, this is free therapy. We literally are sitting there going through our emotions, talking about it, being honest with each other and with ourselves as well, because it is freaking heavy. You know, you know, yes, and that's why bullying was the heaviest episode, because we really bought more buses that day. I'm telling you. And and I just feel like if we could do that with each other and then bring it to the rest of whoever's watching, I encourage you guys to do the same. Sit there, be uncomfortable, and be like, why is this making me feel this way? Why am I crying? Why am I feeling upset about this particular subject that's being talked about? And then go from there. And that's your healing process. That's when you start to actually see potential growth. And I am just excited about our website, about our goodies. I mean, stuff, our merch, our things. And I don't know. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's always watched, and our True Blues, everybody that's new, everybody that's just sharing. And I don't know. Thank you. We made it to 60.
Thank you so much, Vanessa.
I'm gonna need a red shirt. And also, congratulations on how far you two have come. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you all so much. And thank you for being receptive and continuing to come back after topics that I'm sure may not have been your favorite, or topics that you were like, oh, that's BS, But you've come back, you've given it the benefit of the doubt. The most one can ever do, even if you don't agree with something, is listen and learn. Because even if you don't necessarily apply it because you don't believe it in it, because it doesn't resonate with you, the fact that you have knowledge outside of your own world, your own bubble, has immense value. And I know that all the things that I've learned from being a part of this podcast has added so much value to and knowledge to my life, and has forced me to really reflect on who I am and who I want to be and who I've been. And so a lot of gratitude and a lot of excitement for what is to come, and being able to share with others like yourselves and like Juby that want to see change within ourselves and and in the world at large. It is possible. Together we can move mountains. And it's not
Yeah.
just a cheesy cliche.
We have many of those.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had like a what the fuck moment because I was like,
Because
I've
you're
been dying.
great.
I've been dying to do this for so long, to have other thoughts in my head come to life and have these episodes and have you to actually talk back and actually listen and be like, ooh, give feedback and actually listen and be interactive with the topic instead of saying, oh, okay,
Yeah.
and it falling to deaf ears of the conversation. And I was pacing, the studio, and I was like, holy crap, this is real, like this is happening, this is a thing.
Because when I get outraged, when I read a piece of news like today, okay, last bit, I know we have to say goodbye, with Free Lolita,
Oh,
51 years today that Lolita the Orca has been in captivity. I popped the hell off. I lost my mind. And I said, you know what? I know we're going to talk about this eventually. No filters, no fears. I went off on my Instagram and made my comment, and I'm sure I sounded like a crazy dramatic lady. But I needed to say what I needed to say. And I know that eventually we're going to get to it because we have all the intentions of talking more about animals and those kinds of things. So, but I knew that I was going to have a place where I could vent about that and then gain other perspectives from you guys, our fearless fam, and from Chubi, who feels very similarly about those kinds of things, but also has knowledge that I don't about it because you've been an advocate and an activist in a lot of those things far longer than I've been. So I look forward to all those kinds of combos.
let me tell you, when I saw that Free Lolita, I'm like, should I send this to Vanessa? No, 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 she's gonna see it. I don't want to upset her too early. So
Yeah,
when you
no,
saw
that's
it,
I went off. And of course, I tied it to Cuba because in my mind,
it's just,
the parallels through everything, through species, through races, through all kinds of experiences, the parallels that exist are to me insane. And how we choose to be blind to it. And I say we because, of course, in moments I have ignored parallels, right? But we choose to ignore it or to like look over it or not feel identified to something because it's not like glaring in our face similar to something that means something to us is really beyond me. So of course I'm like I compared it to Cuba. If we can ignore Cuba, of course we can ignore that this animal is miserable and in captivity, and that the only partner that it ever had in that tank with it, the smallest tank for the largest orca ever kept in captivity, BT dubs, killed itself, slamming its head against the inside of the tank
oh yeah.
because that's not where they belong.
I'm sorry, but every time I see an orca or whatever, it makes me think of Free Willy. I'm sorry, but it
If
does.
I could, we would be over there with axes beating down the damn tank if it opened up to the ocean, of course.
That's well, guys. Wait for an episode for this because we will. But it's oh, don't even get me started about Ivory. We're done. We're done. See, we need
Oh,
to
see,
go.
we could go. We could go. Okay, the nuggets have been dropped. The seed was planted. It's gonna happen.
Yes, guys. I mean, everyone. But yes, thank you for stopping by, sharing your thoughts, talking to us, listening to us ramble for a
For
few.
60 episodes now.
Yes, I hope
So
that you guys stay
we're
for
excited for you
longer.
to see season 6.
And like we always say, stay fearless, everyone.
Stay fearless.